So welcome to Hammer Time Podcast, episode 55.3?
Yeah, I think it's true, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's true.
So I'm here again with Mr. James McDonald. Welcome.
Thanks for having me back again.
Well, you got
Doing
to do a
something
bit better
kind
in
of
your
alright.
games, otherwise you're not going to get invited
I
back.
know. Yeah, this is my last chance. I think this week. Yeah.
So I think the last episode that you were on, I was struggling a little bit with the video, but I think now it's going to be a bit better quality. So hopefully people can actually, if you're listening on YouTube, you can actually see the lists now.
Yeah, that'd be pretty handy.
Yeah, that we're actually talking about. And,
Yeah.
And if you're listening via your RSS feed, you just get to listen to our lovely voices explaining what's going on. So I think this episode we're just going to go through our last games at House of War, and then maybe talk quickly about the matchups in the next round.
Yeah,
As the
sounds
draw's
good.
already been done. So James, how did your game go? What
So
was your what was your prediction to begin with?
I'm pretty sure I backed myself to win because, need to back myself. I can't remember what exactly I backed myself with, but I think I said I'd get a big win because I was feeling good.
I think you said the 17 if I'm not
Yeah, I think
mistaken.
it was something bigger than I got anyway. So, yeah, I was playing a Vermin Swarm mirror match against Trent, and I think I said as well that my list was better than his. Yeah, I definitely said that.
I think you
So,
did as well.
yeah, so my list was better, and I was backing myself for a win. So then we started playing, and I didn't win. So maybe my list isn't better.
So what
So
was the final score?
the final score was 16-4 to Trent, including he won the secondary, and we were one victory point off it being a 15-5. So it was, yeah, I mean, it's still a loss, but it was a really nice game. Trent's really sound guy. Look forward to playing him again. But just things didn't work. I was charging like two monstrous rats and a unit of footpads into one of his units of disciples.
Yeah.
One monstrous rat needs like a 6 overrun into a doom wheel that has 2 wounds left. The other one needs anything over like a 4 on Swift Stride overrun to get out of arc at the second disciple unit.
Yeah.
So the one rolls a 3 and gets flanked by disciples. And then like the 5 disciples that can contact kill it before it even gets to swing. And the other one ran into the doom wheel, did like no wounds with the 9 attacks, and got killed over 2 rounds. So I think turn 3 I lost both monstrous rats to that incident.
So was it crazy UB dice or was it something else?
Yeah, I think it was just poorish dice. Like I'd be hitting like on 4s with like 5 attacks, and just get like 1 hit, and then it's wound on 4s and it won't wound. So like it was a little dicey, but
yeah.
Even I'd be hitting on 3s with like 4 attacks and get like 1 hit, and then it doesn't wound and stuff. And just small things like that kept happening. There was nothing like major, like oh this unit broke and everything went wrong. It was just a constant like.
Okay, so
small.
in your opinion, was there any like mistakes that you could learn from?
Putting the disciples into his ratted arms block wasn't probably a good idea. Well, it might have worked. I needed like an 8 with the disciples and a 7 to put a doom wheel into the flank, so that turns off their spear bonus, and I can like strike first and shoot them up.
Yeah.
But the disciples failed, so the wheel went in, got ground out over like a couple of turns, and then the disciples frenzied in and died as well. So just kind of ended up feeding them like 300-point lumps. But that was kind of on the right flank. I really should have taken screenshots with this YouTube thing, because then people could see what I'm talking about. So that was all on the right flank, where I was just trying to keep them busy.
Yeah,
And
we'll
on
next time.
on the left flank, I put like both wheels, the 2 monsters rats and the vermin demon. So I was like, right, I'm just going to push hard and left. But that's where then the 2 monsters rats ended up dying. My vermin demon killed his pretty luckily. There was one turn he did like 4 wounds to my vermin demon, and then I hit him back with div magic and the wheels shooting. Did nothing, and I was like, oh, this is bad. Then he fluffed, and then my vermin demon one shot his with magic in the next turn. So that was one lucky point. But at that point, I was like, going down big anyway. So
So
it just kind of
what
like,
about this scenario? Because last time we talked a bit about the scenario, how because he had two big blocks, it might be a bit easier for him to sit on the scenario.
yeah. So this is why I kind of pushed really hard on one side. He dropped first, I think, maybe. And he had like his Vermin Demon up in the far right corner of the board, behind a piece of impossible. So I was like, all right, fine, I'm just going to drop everything to go for, or put all my stuff down to go first and like
Hmm.
rush his left. So then if I push behind him, and this is why I wanted the two monsters rats to like overrun past the disciples and stuff, was if I get behind him, then like I can kind of combo charge the big blocks and maybe beat them.
Yeah.
But then when that stalled, I just kind of had like a bunch of little small things that he was just able to walk all over me, and
Okay.
it
And
just didn't work.
how did the artillery work against your small scoring units and things? Was he using it to kill the footpads, or what was he using the catapult for?
He kept firing them into the what you call it, vermin guard.
Okay.
So I think first turn he was hitting on fives because I forgot to pop the lightning rod, and he hit with both of them. But then it was kind of okay because I was like, next turn his Giselles can shoot, so I'm better off using lightning rod then and his wheel and stuff.
Yeah.
So I forgot, but in hindsight, it was actually okay. So then turn two, I used lightning rod, so he's hitting me on sixes. I think both hit, and then turn three, one hit on fives, and the other misfired. And then like turn four, turn five, turn six, the one that was still like working hit like every time on fives. And
Uh-huh.
then those and the BSB panicked off the board eventually from it.
Okay.
But they didn't do too much. Like they weren't a
Factor in the game.
massive factor in it. Yeah, it was mainly just things stalling, like kind of throwing three units into one of his and it not working, or throwing like wounding something with magic and then not being able to finish it in combat and just thing. But it was a really good game. Learned a bit, and Trent was really nice.
Cool. Awesome. So my game went slightly differently to yours. I won 12-8 in the end, but it went a lot worse than expected, let's say.
Yeah, you were a big win as well. I think, weren't you? You were
Yeah,
a
I put
couple of
myself down for a 14, which I think
them.
in hindsight is probably about right for the matchup.
Yeah,
Um, Basically, it all went wrong in the first turn. So my first mistake was dropping for the first turn. I should have let him take the first turn. I thought with the hold the ground, what I should do is just push up onto the objective and sit there and use all my razors just to stand there and take whatever he could throw at me. But
yeah,
after deployment, I realised that the just to go back to Rob's list, the Ed Bashers with the paired weapons were matched up against the Barrow Guard, and that was pretty bad for me because they ignore the parry.
right. So they're hitting you on trees, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and then the Iron Orcs were matched up with the what the fuck they call the ghouls.
yeah,
So
you've
that
no
was
AP.
yeah. So obviously Rob had deployed pretty well to kind of get this to kind of get these two units matched up in the right way. Like for me, it would have been better the other way around. So what I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have done is, in fact, just to hold off on the deployment and at least trade off deployments until I could see a bit more where Rob was going to put his main combat units. So
yeah,
so that was a mistake initially, and also with hold the ground, I feel it's a bit better to go second because you kind of
yeah,
get to control the objective a bit better as
yeah.
it's at the
And
end of the player turn.
undead as well, usually like second, don't they?
Yeah,
Because you can heal and do
exactly.
stuff.
And
Yeah,
this I kind of learnt the hard way, but hopefully for the next game I'll remember. And then the main mistake that I made in this game was I'm just going to bring up a UB thing here. So I don't know if you can see it.
yeah.
So my ghouls were here, and my
Okay,
bats were here in this kind of formation. And
right.
then Rob had his Iron Orcs here and some fast cav here. So
Okay,
I moved up in the first turn to about this distance. So I knew that this was quite a long charge for the Iron Orcs. It's like a 16-inch charge. So
yeah,
even if he pops the War and gets an extra advance and have Swiss Ride, it's still like quite a long charge. So
yeah,
I didn't think he would make that. It could have even been a bit further back to a
Yeah,
12
so
inch.
he's looking for like an 11 or a 12 if he
Yeah,
uses his
exactly.
war cry. Yeah. Right.
And but on this side, it's he has a 10 into the bats with the war cry.
Okay.
So what happened is he charged both the Iron Orcs and the Fast Cav into the bats, and I mean I have to hold because I'm undead, and what I didn't realize was that the overrun would put his Iron Orcs into the flank of the ghouls.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to show you here what happened. So these guys engage first
Right.
and
And take it.
maximize,
Yeah.
and then all he needs to do is clip the corner here.
Yeah. And he's got the right amount of models and
Yeah, and then so on my ghouls, it's in
yeah.
something
So
like that. So he's got enough models in, and then it's very much in the flank of the ghouls. So of course the bat swarms died,
yeah.
and then these guys overran, and then the Iron Orcs promptly went into the flank of the ghouls,
Right.
and
That's
that was on his turn one.
yeah. And you still managed to win 12.
Yeah. Well,
um,
this was the first big mistake that happened, and the second big mistake was in his turn one magic phase. I think I just wasn't either paying attention to the spells that he had, or I just didn't realize the ramifications of allowing him to cast Break the Spirit on my Barrow Guard.
mm,
So I think I dispelled another spell, which was maybe Raven's Wing or something like that, that I thought was quite important at the time. And what was more important would have been to stop Break the Spirit on the Barrow Guard, because firstly I was stood in a field with half the unit, and I
yeah.
wanted to charge his head bashers in the middle of the table, because that would put me on the objective. So I made the charge anyway, thinking that I could probably raise the Barrow Guard even if I lost a third of them. But
Yeah. And like,
out of 37 models, I lost I think 27
oh no. Right.
or 25 or 23 or something like that. So
Right.
it was those crazy UB dice that just rolled really weird, and I lost like a large amount of the unit. And then in the magic phase, I failed to cast raise on 2 dice. And I failed to cast, actually, throughout the game, I failed 3 raises on a 4+ on 2 dice. So
Hell.
these kind of small setbacks made it a little bit harder for me to win the game. But I kind of pulled through at the end with some shenanigans and some good dice rolls and stuff like that.
Yeah. That the bar guide thing's kind of weird. I think I would have let Break the Spirit off as well.
Yeah, we discussed it
But
after the game, and you
yeah.
said as much. And maybe it wasn't the worst decision, but the dice just kind of fucked me a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. It doesn't help. Like, but yeah. How did the ghouls end up? Did they lose to the?
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah.
crumbled over a few turns,
Oh, okay. Right.
and I almost killed the BSB, but Rob was saving like a boss on his Aegis save. But
Yeah, and the
they
Iron
kind
Orcs
of
with
just
armor,
went
it's hard.
they just went down after a few rounds. I couldn't raise them enough, and frankly, I was like, I'm not going to be able to raise them fast enough because they're just going to die.
Yeah, and you don't get the reform probably to do all the attacks. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And if I reformed it, I was like down to 5 guys, and if I reformed, he would just get more attacks on me.
oh yeah, so it's not good then. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
just kind of stayed one wide, and they lasted probably longer than they should have done. So at least it held off the Iron Orcs until the end.
yeah. I suppose keeping it busy is pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
and with I just couldn't kill the BSB, which stopped them from being stubborn, or would have stopped them from being stubborn rather.
Yeah, so then you could get lucky at some point, and
Yeah, and I think I was a little bit unlucky not to kill the BSB. And Rob was, as I said, Rob was saving really well, so that would have netted me probably the rest of the 14, up to the 14-6 if I'd have got that.
yeah. I mean, you weren't far off prediction. You're closer than I was. Like, so
But I think some things to take from the game was that the magic did synergize quite well, as we talked about in the previous episodes, and the monster hunter took off the gargantula in a couple of rounds of combat, which was nice. So
yeah,
that definitely worked. I think he failed. I think he failed a leadership 9 or 8 stubborn test.
with the Gargantua.
with a Gargantula, which netted me a few points
Nice. Yeah,
in
that's
my
a
turn
nice little
too.
chunk of points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So it was a really good game actually. Rob's super nice and really fair player, and
was
enjoyed the game a lot.
was the Wyvern good, or did it do anything to it?
Not really. It kind of flew
Okay.
around avoiding the monster hunter,
Right.
and then I
Yeah.
think he charged it into a Varkalak at the end to try and save his wizard, but didn't save his wizard.
Yeah. Barclay might give that a good go, I think.
Yeah, it was quite close. I think he only just killed it with the last crumble.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know, for a 700, almost 700 point lord, you kind of
Yeah,
want to be sure you could kill a Varkalak, I think. But
yeah. So it was a tight game, but I got the 12-8 in the end.
yeah, and
So how about the?
that,
Say again, sorry.
I get to play Rob next. So
So Rob is your next matchup.
yeah, I'm playing Rob.
So
There's
how
a
do you feel about this one?
um. I'm gonna back myself again, but like we'll be back here next week, and I'll be like, oh, so I did this and it didn't work. I'm not afraid of the Wyvern. I think divination magic's pretty dangerous for him, and the two wheels.
Yeah,
Um, the orc shaman on the warboard, like if he's standing anywhere, he's just going to get hit by multi wound stuff from wheels, and because the 5 orcs, I just need to kill the one, and I can start like allocating hits onto him. So
yeah.
in an ideal world, he won't be around for too long either.
So the
Um,
scenario is banners.
right, and he's got 4 scoring. I have
Let me have a
4
look.
as
I
well.
think he's got
I
3.
have 5. Yeah, Iron Orcs, Boars, Goblins, and Ed Bashers has 4. Yeah.
4, yeah.
So I can kill the Boars easy, I think, if he uses them.
Yeah, I think you can like just puke on them with the rats, just as one
Yeah.
way of getting rid of them.
The Maggots might be a pain with all my single models. I don't really want to run through them.
I
I suppose
mean,
I can try and draw them out with like the footpads and stuff.
even the monstrous rats, you're res 5, right? And you have a 4-up save.
Yeah.
So if he's releasing them at you, it's not already that dangerous.
Yeah, it's 4 wounds though. If there's a spike and you're just down 300 something points all of a sudden.
But it's I just don't think it's that likely to kill you. Even if he rolls really high on the number of hits, let's say he rolls like 10 hits and 5 wounds, you're
Yeah, and
gonna
then
save half of
2.5.
them, right?
Yeah, true. I think I have PTSD. I was playing a playtesting game with the Dread Elf book, and I lost a cowboy, a hydra, and a kraken to 3 maggots. So I think I have PTSD from that. And I'm just he like triple marched at me and popped them all through, and it just like kept lifting like a model each time he threw one out. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
there's like turn 2 or something. Yeah, it was a disaster. But I guess they're kind of okay. The monsters, rats, and beast. Iron orcs are a bit of a pain, but I think disciples are pretty good against them,
Yeah.
and the disciples are good against the common orcs as well. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I think I can win this.
He's not got that much shooting really to kind of deal with the dreadmills or the disciples.
Yeah, he has to kind of come and like catch them all. So I think if I just kind of stay mobile, don't let him get charges,
Yeah.
and then try and combo charges stuff. In an ideal world, that's
Yeah, I mean the Gargantula and the Warlord both are a bit afraid of the wheels.
yeah. The warlord really is, and then the Gargantula probably doesn't love it either.
No.
Um, the Gargantula is pretty good, but I think even like disciples are going to hurt him. Strength 5, he's only res 6. Like
Also, the Vermin Demon can get stuck in this fight because he's not really got anything that threatens the demon.
yeah, the once he doesn't like bolt throw him, I think I'm like pretty okay that I can
Yeah,
dance around and
and the
pick some
demon will
fights.
beat the Warlord in combat as well.
Yeah, definitely, and he goes first. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely So he's going to go first. He's going to hit him, and I don't think the Wyvern wants that, but. Yeah, if he survives, he might hurt me. He's got blessed inscriptions and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think it should be okay. Rob is 4 points ahead of me though. There's a bit of a gap in the thing, so we'll see. We could end up on the same points again after, even if I get a small win. I think because he's on 8, I'm on 4.
So in light of the scenario, what's your prediction for this one?
I am going to win the scenario, and 15-5 to me.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty spicy prediction again.
Yeah. If I just keep saying it, eventually once it's gonna come good.
Eventually, you'll sound like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's the podcast I'll direct everyone towards if they ever want to listen to one. So
the one that you share on social media.
yeah. At some point it'll come good.
All right, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 13 to you.
All right.
Sorry,
You're backing
Rob.
me this time. At least you're backing me.
Yeah, this time.
Yeah, this time. Yeah, that's where it all went wrong last time. You didn't believe in me.
Well, now you've got full confidence and no excuses.
Yeah, it's all going to be fine. I'll text you on Tuesday even after we play, giving out about why it all went wrong anyway. So, so who are you playing next?
I am playing Ollie Mather.
Nice.
So we talked about his list before. This is the one with the 2 Chosen Lords. Double Feldrak Elder, and a couple of chaff units, the Sloth Chariot, which is going to be a bit hard work perhaps. So I think this is an okay-ish matchup. I think the objective makes it a bit easier.
What's your where's your thing? Just do that. Your scoring is the 2 big blocks and then
the knights.
Right. So you can you've no soft units really. That just
no. The Feldraks are probably okay for the vampire to go into because of the monster hunter.
Have you got fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets hatred against you and stuff, but
yeah.
I mean, you should probably smash him up first before.
I can't really deal with the 2 Chosen Lords so well.
No, but they're just going to be like standing around in that block with the relentless banner. So you just need to. Yeah, I suppose like the Barrow guard.
Yeah, the Barrow guard.
Yeah.
Be okay.
I don't think he wants to run into them. They're not going to give a shit about your ghouls.
No.
But if you just threaten them with the Barrow guard, because they have a lethal strike, don't they? And
yeah.
So they don't want to get stuck grinding on the Barrow guard all game.
No.
Because you've way more to gain in that. Like if you can pick up one of those characters, it's 600 points. So like,
yeah, and they're both infantry characters, and I get multiple wounds too against infantry. So that
all right, yeah. So
there is a little bit scary for them.
That's really and
especially
like if you get rerolled the wound, they're dead. Like the Death Cheater one definitely doesn't. The Talisman Shielding one even probably doesn't, but Death Cheater can't go near them because it's 2 6s and you just pick up 600 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Snipes don't really bother you either, do they?
Not really. Only against the Necromancer.
Yeah.
But I can always just heal the Necromancer.
Yeah. Just once he doesn't take both snipes in a turn, he's
But I think I have the tools to deal with him. Like I have alchemy, so I can try and kill the warrior knights with alchemy, and that's 1 point of the objective already.
Yeah, you can lash the knights in the chariot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one copper the knights again.
Yeah.
I think like those knights, if he uses them, like they should be dead turn 2 if you can like get hits on them.
Yeah. And the banshees can deal with the chaff pretty well.
Yeah, the flares. Yeah. They're res 3, aren't they? With like barely any armor and stuff.
5 up maybe, the one with shields.
Yeah.
So I think the matchup is okay for me. A lot will depend on how he uses the Feldraks. So I can definitely deal with one of them with my Monster Hunter. I think even though it's flying, I'm going to be striking first. If I can do maybe 1 wound beforehand with something, then it should be reasonably okay.
Yeah, I think you should be pretty safe with that. 2 Varkalax can probably eat one as well if you got a combo charge, could they?
Yeah. I mean, the Varkalax are not as useful in this matchup, but something like the Lust Warriors or even the Chosen Chariot. Like I can probably fight the Chosen Chariot with the Barcalax.
Yeah, or the Vampire Knights that go through the Chariot or the
Well, and yeah, and the
Feldrock,
Feldrock Elder as
probably.
well.
Yeah, so like you have a lot of things that can zone him. It's not like he can just run at you.
Yeah,
Obviously, you have to be careful with the Vampire Knights because you don't want to give up a secondary pip. But
yeah,
um, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. The Feldrax are kind of annoying because you can't use the alchemy reroll to wound against them. So that's
yeah.
like
But even Lash is pretty good on the Feldrax. If I just want to take a wound or two off.
you reroll successful flaming hits or
Yeah,
flaming
but
wounds
it's
against them, doesn't
threes
it?
and threes, right?
Yeah, but then you have to reroll the trees again. That's just kind of.
I think it's still okay.
Yeah, maybe.
If I just want to do a couple of wounds before it goes in.
Yeah, I guess if you've got spare dice, but there's
Yeah,
other things you can lash and
yeah,
multi grapple.
definitely.
So you pick up like that 10-man unit of Lust Warriors.
Yeah,
You can probably pick them up if they expose themselves, or the Knights, and then just mind your own scoring. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be interested to see how the Chosen Lords, like, if they get into you, you're probably in trouble. But if you can figure out how to keep them from doing their thing, I think you'll win quite big.
yeah. I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
So my prediction for this one, I think it's probably again a 13, 14, maybe a 12 if it goes badly.
right. So you're planning on winning the secondary, and then
Yeah, and then just keeping stuff alive.
yeah, so
I think
yeah,
with the way that the format is, we need to be in the top two to go through, right?
yeah. So top two out of 11 now because Jordan's dropped. So
Okay. So
um,
I figure that I think the good strategy is just to get small win, small win, small win,
yeah, I
and
think so.
just
If you can be consistent,
yeah,
maybe, yeah. Like we've 20, 19, 19, 16, 16, and then you on 12. So like if two other people get massive wins, then they'll probably run away with it this game. But
yeah,
um, yeah, I think if you get small wins, you've a good chance of coming second. Because as the top people start to play each other later on, I imagine there'll be more draws, which will like
yeah.
allow for someone
That's
to
my plan at
leapfrog them.
least. It's more of like a
Yeah,
submarine strategy.
yeah, just leapfrog whoever like draws. I think I need to win like relatively big to even have some form of hope
So
of
you're going
going.
all out this next game.
Yeah, one of it. Like if me and Rob get a 10-10, like both of us are basically out of contention. I think so.
Yeah.
Someone needs to be a winner out of this one.
So lots of 20-0s in the lower tables.
Yeah, I think so because we got bottom half the table is 8, 4, 4, 1, 1. So there's going to be a lot of going for blood, I think.
So just to finish off, what's the top table? Who's playing?
It is Marcus and Frank. So dwarves against demons.
So Marcus had the pretty standard list aside from the 12 orders,
Yes, he's 12 orders,
and
6
Frank
flies,
had
2 blocks. That I think we said that this was really bad. So, but
okay. So he
he's
managed
on
to
the
win
top
20
table.
0 his
So
first one.
yeah, so what do we know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the kind of vanguardy list with
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, Marcus, if he had more snipes, would be in a lot of a better position. But it'll be interesting, I think. I reckon Jordan's list was going to smash it, but I think Marcus's list struggles a lot more. So
Okay, I mean just on the quick glance at this, I think Marcus probably has quite a good opportunity to win this one.
yeah, but he has to be really careful because the Seeker Lord and stuff will just eat his things.
Yeah, true. He hasn't got all that
Um,
much range damage.
no, and the like doesn't Frank have the smashy Dwarf Lord and
He
all
has the
that
king,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, so like he's got him, and then he's got the Dragon Seeker. So the Omen has to be kind of careful about going into those.
Yeah, but
Um,
the hoarders should deal with the seekers quite okay, aside
Oh yeah,
from the
yeah,
character.
yeah. There's a lot of seekers, and the thing is, like, if they're grinding each other out, so say you can like trade hoarders for seekers, Frank's winning secondary then
Ah, yeah,
because
because the hoarders are scoring.
hoarders are scoring, so that's a bit of a problem with this matchup.
Yeah.
Whereas the seekers are just
No,
grinding away.
maybe it's a bit tighter than I thought then.
Yeah, I think the fact that the seekers don't score and all Marcus's toys apart from the flies do.
Yeah.
Like Marcus has what 1, 2, 3, 7 scoring units.
Yeah.
They're obviously pretty tough because it's the mirrors and stuff and hoarders, but seekers are going to eat 3 hoarders at some point. Unless I don't know how seekers and flies go because they're kind of constantly killing each other as they die. So
Yeah. I think it's just gonna
maybe
be
if he
messy.
can, yeah, if he can just use the flies to kill the seekers, and then the hoarders can probably work their way through a dwarf block or something. But I don't know. That'll be interesting.
It'll be an interesting game.
Yeah.
So I reckon. I mean, based on what we've talked about, maybe Frank has a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. Maybe Frank has a bit of an advantage, so maybe like 12 or 13 to Frank. Maybe. Marcus is like super experienced and really good, so if it came down to just kind of who's played more, then Marcus will pick it up. But I think it'll be interesting. But Frank's going to pip the secondary and get a 13.
Cool. Okay,
Maybe.
so I think that's about all we have for this episode. Thanks again, James, for coming on. And you have your game on Tuesday, right?
I do, and I will take some screenshots next time so we can.
I think mine will be on Friday. So let's get back together next week and see what happens.
Yeah, sounds good. Hopefully, we'll both have tales of great victory to
Then
bring
maybe
us
we
up to
play
the
each
top
other in the
table.
next round.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right, James. Thanks very much for coming
Yeah.
on. If
No
you want to
problem.
get in touch with the podcast and give us your thoughts, you can catch us on amatimedk@gmail.com. You can find me at the Ninth Age Forum, Henry P. Miller, and you can see us on SoundCloud and on YouTube.